A lot of people insist that Gen AI is a tool to go make your life easier and do all of these things. And over the course of it becoming popular, I personally have seen what I think are some really stupid ways people have been using Gen AI. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And if you have your own experiences, please let us know in the comment section down below. Now, without ado, let's get started. And again, don't send hate to any parties involved. So first up, we have this post to Threads by user Hey Dan Schnenker. I am so sorry. I don't think I pronounced their name correctly. And they attach some coloring book pages of the solar system. Except if you take a peek at the coloring pages, these are all astronomically incorrect. These look like kids' coloring book pages, and this one looks like pages that were to show you what a solar system looks like, okay? So we have the sun in the middle, and then what exactly revolving around the sun? We have 8 planets, 9 if you want to count Pluto, although Pluto is now classified as a dwarf planet. Somehow we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets orbiting the sun at the same distance, which is incorrect. But we have Earth, and we have another planet that looks like it's supposed to be Earth. A planet called Solup, which, oh my gosh, you learn something new every day. I didn't know there was a planet called Solup. There's something else called Sklar. Don't know what that's supposed to be. And then we have Mars. So Mars, I guess, in proximity to Earth is placed correctly. I don't know about the other 4 planets. And then we have Saturn, which is labeled Saturn. But we forgot all of the other planets. Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, all gone. And here we have another page, which is the same thing, but also incorrect. And not to mention, again, look at the AI-generated sun. The little spikes for the sun don't line up properly. But once again, for some reason, Saturn is labeled as Mars. Mars does not have a ring around it like this. So then we have Venus. Mercury is apparently nothing. We have Uptune, Sath, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and then Jayath. So if we're including Pluto, we should have 9 planets. We don't have 9 planets here. We have 8. And all the planets are not placed in the correct proximity to each other relative to the sun. And once again, we have multiple planets orbiting the same distance. And this is just scary because this is the material provided to kids. So kids are going to color these pages in and learn jack shit because this is all wrong. And of course, there are some cases where textbooks are incorrect or textbooks teach you something that later gets corrected down the line. Like when I was in school, Pluto was taught to us as a planet. And then as I got older, it was announced that Pluto was going to be classified as a dwarf planet. So a lot of times it's not really included in the solar system thing anymore. But regardless, this is so blatantly incorrect. My favorite comment, tag yourself. I'm Erpturn. Somebody zoomed into Mars and was like, Mars is going on like, what the F? Another person said, happy to see Pluto. I had no idea it was larger than Jayath though. Poor Sath is just an empty, barren place. Another person says, I love that we can now finally reap the benefits of our 2.5 trillion investment in AI. Yep, because it's definitely making the world better. And here's another one. A user called Michael on Twitter writes, a parent discovered that her daughter's middle school in Kentucky have been having their students use agendas that are AI generated. Oh my lord, this is awful. We have a periodic table that is horrifically incorrect. If you squint for 2 seconds, take a look at any of the squares. Not a single one of them names the element correctly. We have H for neurism, BE for ealtium. Like, these are just so horribly, horribly incorrect. And even this diagram on how to read the periodic table, how to read each square is so incorrect. The poor students, man. Imagine a chemistry exam and it's like, you can reference your periodic table. And then you whip it out and it's just this. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna fail because I don't know anything. Beneath that, it says, our solar system. Planetary distance are temperatory Earth, equator de Lance, and Regnisium org toed dish lines net to scale. What in the world am I reading right now? And Jupiter is spelled incorrectly. Saturn is spelled... Oh, Lord. This is so freaking sad. A commenter says, as a former chemist, that periodic table makes me feel like I'm suffering from early onset dementia. Group 8 is bad enough. Then we have the absolutely impossible masses. Honorary mention to Zn, Sr, and Pa for evolving, but magnesium wins a Nobel Prize for providing negative mass, which actually, yeah, how is that even possible? Also, we have another page. This features a map where California is not named. It just says Los Angeles. Then we have Nevada, Arizona, New Missouri, Taxas, Olkchoma, Netnaska. What is Gowago? Veneki. This is so awfully bad. And I mean, I do understand that teachers are underpaid and understaffed and everything, and sometimes you're provided materials and just told to use said materials and you don't really have a say. But somewhere in the process, nobody checked. This means that this material was provided and nobody did a double checking to make sure that this was accurate material to teach things off of and to provide to students. And another commenter says, I don't even get why they would AI generate these. There are literally tens of thousands of periodic tables and maps of the US out there. Imagine being so lazy, you ask some third-rate AI for this instead of spending maybe 1 minute on Google. Because yeah, that literally makes no sense because again, so many periodic tables and maps made that could be used. You don't need to go to AI for it. Speaking of maps, this was posted to Threads by user Carnage for Life, writing, the US State Department has taken full responsibility for presenting a map of Africa at a global AIDS conference that mislabeled every single country it highlighted. Every single one. The map had a watermark indicating it was made using AI from OpenAI.
Presenting a map of Africa at a global AIDS conference that mislabeled every single country it highlighted. Attendees shared photos of the incorrect map online. Coastal countries like Nigeria, Mozambique, and Cote d'Ivoire were all landlocked and in the wrong locations. Other countries' borders were misrepresented. An analysis by Reuters found a watermark in the map image that suggests it was made with OpenAI.
They put Nigeria in the center of Africa. Nigeria's over here. They flagged, for instance, Mozambique here. Mozambique is actually down here. They had Uganda in like basically the correct location, but the shape of Uganda is completely incorrect. Also, I guess they forgot about Cameroon, because there's no line marking Cameroon. I guess the AI flagged Cameroon as being in this spot, which is actually where Cote d'Ivoire is. It's all so wrong. And the top comment says, why the F would you generate a map instead of actually using a map? Another person says, a grade 6 education would have prevented this. Also, this means two things. Either one, nobody double checked this whatsoever, or two, nobody knows what Africa looks like because every single country was incorrect, either in location or the shape of the border or both. And a commenter says, as a Ugandan, I would like to know where we can donate to assist the geographically challenged children in the US education system and State Department. This is just so fucked up on so many levels. And speaking of AI and schooling, a user on Threads writes, and it could be rage bait largely, but a lot of people are actually do this. They wrote, banned by mistake in the middle of my thesis. Support previously apologized for a false warning, but now my appeal is instantly denied. Any advice? I'm hoping somebody here has been through this and can offer some advice because I'm losing my mind. I use ChatGPT almost exclusively for my university thesis project. Yesterday, I tried to log in and got hit with the account deactivated error. So here they have an authentication error, screenshots, some emails, and they add, here's the frustrating part. A few weeks ago, I got a random warning on my account. I reached out to support and they actually emailed me back apologizing, admitting it was a mistake on their end. I have the screenshot of their email saying, we incorrectly issued a warning on your account. So knowing this is likely another system glitch, I filled out the official appeal form. But instead of a real review, I got an automatic generic response saying, quote, we have already reviewed your appeal and the original decision stands, end quote. It's incredibly clear that no human looked at my appeal or checked my account history, where their own team admitted to false flags. I lost all my thesis chat history and prompts. Has anyone actually gotten past the automated original decision stands email? Is there any other way to reach a real human at OpenAI? Any help is hugely appreciated. I want to add, I think it's very ironic that this is a situation where somebody is trying to use AI and is upset they're getting like an AI email response in response to their issue with their AI program. But the top comment says, you don't mind somebody forwarding this to your speaker in university, failing you for cheating, right? Another person says, people who use AI for everything being mad their account was suspended and terminated by AI moderation is peak irony. Our species is cooked. Another person says, if you can't do it without the slot bot, it's not your thesis. And another person said, please, please, please tell me that your thesis project was something along the lines of testing the limits of LLM AI chatbots or something that would actually warrant using an AI program as a big part of writing your thesis. Because if the thesis isn't specifically about some specific aspect of AI, then the other commenters are 100% correct that you should be denied an advanced degree for using it. This is the scary part because this isn't going to be an isolated incident. I'm sure now in schools, there's so many people who are using ChatGPT and relying on other AIs to either supplement their work or do all of the work for their schooling. And it leads to two scary issues where one, people are presented degrees and entering the workforce with no credibility to actually do their job. And it is something that's like menial if you have a job that isn't particularly, I guess, impactful on the lives of others. And I'm not saying that in like a mean sense, right? But like hypothetically, some jobs, like if you go and become an accountant, well, you being bad at your job impacts the finances of that company, but you're not hurting individual people necessarily, right? But if you use ChatGPT to go through med school and then you end up with a medical license, that's a whole different can of worms where now you're working in a job where people's lives are being impacted. And if you fully relied on ChatGPT to get there, that's a bit scary of a thought that you could be having a doctor who needs to go to ChatGPT because they don't know what your issues are. But also, I would argue the second issue is that you're cheating yourself of your own education, because at the end of the day, if you're in school, somebody paid for it. Maybe you got a bunch of financial aid and scholarships, so you didn't have to pay for it. But largely, you're either going to be working a job to pay for it or your parents paid for you. And this is an opportunity not everybody gets. And to scam away and whittle away your opportunity by just running everything through AI and not getting an education, you're really hurting yourself at the end of the day. But maybe you're okay with it. Or maybe their thesis is about how negative AI is or something that would warrant using Gen AI in such a capacity. But also very likely it's probably just rage bait. This one is just so funny because it's a trend and the hypocrisy is laughable. So this is posted by user Rage Quiddly writing ... So they used AI to participate in an AI trend, more so an anti-AI trend. I am so effing tired. So this is kind of the trend where basically people have been talking about AI flowers, and there's been this like conversation about how people are tired of seeing it. So companies have been doing like silly little pen and paper doodles and drawings on notebook paper or other paper, kind of being like, let me advertise my business without an AI flyer. Here's just an example of Hillsville happenings since everyone's tired of AI flyers. And they write, since we refuse to use AI flyers, let us ceramic coat your vehicle. And it's a stick figure drawing of somebody, coating a vehicle. Well, this business wanted to participate, or they posted this. Since everyone is tired of AI generated flyers, visit Queso Loco for the best birria tacos and Mexican street food. And they captioned it, figured we give pen and paper a shot again, ... Then this got posted to r/is this AI because people were scratching their heads being like, yo, why does this look AI generated? And this user writes, in my opinion, the letters are too perfect and aligned to be handwritten. Apart from that, it feels uncanny, but want to post to ask questions. The thing that's catching me out is the A in Mexican street food being different to others. Because so like this, in the word Mexican, they write A like an O with a little tail. But in every other instance of a lowercase a, they write it as like a swirl, because there's like in English, like people will write A's in two different ways. So that's odd because like people who write A's one way typically don't swap to the other in the middle of writing the same thing. And you see that here. And the top comment says it has a synth ID watermark from OpenAI. Because that's right. In this trend where people were making pen and paper doodles to promote their business to show that they are against generated flyers and Gen AI, this brand literally went to ChatGPT or something and generated a pen and paper writing. What? You couldn't get a sheet of paper and write on it? And they wrote, okay, we see the comments. This post was meant to be a funny, lighthearted way to promote our small business. We use real photos of our food 90% of the time, and occasionally use AI as another creative marketing tool. At the end of the day, we're just a local family-owned business trying to make some authentic Mexican food and be creative. We truly love y'all. Thank you for all your support. They have to be rage baiting, right? Like saying we use real photos of our food 90% of the time is a crazy statement in line with everything else. Again, don't send hate to the business or anything, right? Don't contact them. Don't be weird. But I think we can just all sit and laugh at like the irony of this situation and the way they're like trying to play it off, because what the heck, man? Talk about missing the point entirely. This is just too funny. When I saw this, I wanted to facepalm, dude. And it goes a step deeper because OP writes, update, it's become an epidemic. And you can see a whole bunch of other people writing, since everyone's tired of AI generated flyers, use me for your roofer. And they've been like trying to follow the trend. It's the same image with different text generated over it. Look at the background. It is the same freaking background. It's the same paper with the same caption. AI is getting out of hand, ... So I went back. AI is getting out of hand, ... Like what? Talk about missing the point, dude. A user writes only 90% of the time regarding the food thing, and OP says, I am speechless. And another user says, I hate when businesses want to hide behind, we're a small family business, to try to shirk criticism. You being a small business doesn't make you above being criticized. I don't care if you're a small business, you can make it without using AI. I don't know why they want to self-sabotage by using AI when it's clear there's a public disinterest. Another person says, they act like small businesses didn't just do fine before AI. And they added a cute picture of their cat. Aww. And this one, in line with memes, is just so funny with this account posting, which game is this? And it's the dragon meme where there's like two like, you know, like really edgy looking dragons and one real derpy dragon, and then you put text over it. And it's supposed to imply, you know, which game has like really sick graphics, really sick gameplay, and a really, really derpy story. But they just AI generated the meme. The text is AI generated, the dragons are AI generated. And another person in the comments posted the original derpy dragon meme and was like, ah, yes, nothing. Screams nostalgia like using AI for a meme that could have taken you at most 2 minutes to make. And somebody else said, I have to ask, why did you use AI to generate a meme template that already exists? And they posted the picture of the dragon. And I gotta say, I used to work in an esports org. I've used this template to go make memes. It's really freaking easy. You get this template, whip it up in Photoshop, and then type on it. It literally will take you the same amount of time. But I feel like a lot of people, they just get really, really lazy. And so their default go-to now for everything is just run it through AI, without a doubt. So yeah, don't bully, harass, or send hate to anybody mentioned. These are just some funny things that I wanted to share with you guys because I've been seeing it all over the internet. So again, if you have any silly personal experiences of like funny uses of generative AI where you're just like, dude, why? Like, let me know in the comment section down below. And with that, if you like this video, I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to get to 100K. We're 6K away, so we're slowly getting there. And check me out on Spotify. I've been uploading these videos there as well. And I stream on Twitch 3 days a week, Mondays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. or Thursdays at 7:30, where I do a podcast with my friend. So with that, I hope to catch you guys there or in another one of my videos. Peace.